Hello, everyone from YouTube. This is uh, this is my immersion, and this topic today will be about the ethics of human longevity and radical life extension. Um, Basically, it's about if people could live longer, what would they do differently? Um, what are their perspectives on uh, life extension? And I thought it'd be an interesting topic, so I chose that. Um, the first question here is: if a pill existed that could double the human lifespan to 160 years, would you take it tomorrow? I would take it personally because I'm a very curious person and I love to learn new topics. I feel like I that even with with maybe average of 80 years now, if doubling it, I still would love to have the extra time to learn as many topics as I can. Uh, so yeah, I just love to learn, and so that's what I would do. Um, Natalia, what would you do if you could extend your life to 160 years?
Of course, I think I did it. I will take the pill because I love to live, to be here with my family. If my family can could take the pill too, I will be very happy. But I don't know. I think this is a hard question because I think everyone wants to live more, being here with health, Why not? I think it is.
Thank you, Natalia. Hey, do we know? Would you like to answer the question?
That's interesting question. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't take it immediately because living long sounds interesting at the first time, attractive. But for me, I think that the real question is about quality, not quantity. I would ask myself what kind of life I will have with health, mental clarity, propose. Uh, if if it, uh, if it's to living 160 years without meaning or without a strong relationship, maybe it can become exhausting, because long time is not guarantee of fulfillment of happiness. Yeah, I would need to know what kind of life I will have. If I would have a dynamic life, worth experiences, good health. Yeah, maybe I will take this pill. But and otherwise, if it is to live in without meaning, without worth experiences, maybe it's not worth. Yeah, I will take a time to think, not take immediately. Yeah.
Um, that's a good point, and I quality is an important factor. In my case, I would love to have more time to be with my wife. Um, she's amazing, and I feel like having an extension would give me more time to be with her. Um, so yeah, quality is great, and having the right people to be with, friends, family. Um, it's, it would make a huge difference, and so yeah, there's that. Hugo, would you like to answer the question?
Oh, this this question is very difficult, but immediately I don't take it because I think there are many. I think there are many questions that I would doing for me, about for myself. I think there is a natural way to happen these things, to die to I think this is natural, uh, and uh, and and this kind of thing, I would be more I would I would be oh my god, I forget the word. Mm, More egoist, I don't know. I think it is the life is the natural way to happen the things, and the this kind of question, there are, oh, many question many question that I would be for me, for myself. Mm, I have an example. For example, in around the world there are about 80 millions of people, and imagine I take a pill to expensive my lifespan to only 1,600. Oh my God, 160 years. And how many people there are after that? That's it.
Yeah, I think that it would change the whole dynamics of how um, people think of life. I mean, the way people, have their careers. Maybe they're not going to be in one career. Um, the way they like people have children, and you can just see like them getting older, and then it's like they can see their great grandchildren. It's like it's such a weird concept, unheard of, and um, thing. So it's very unnatural to think about that. Right now we're used to the natural way of maybe perhaps like 80 years as the average life expectancy, and oh, it's just interesting, yeah. And the next question here, it's if only the wealthy could afford life extension technology, how would that fundamentally change the structure of social classes? Well, that's with that, I think that it would actually have a lot of people upset, knowing that only it is reserved for wealthier people. I don't think that would be possible because there's I I think that there would be people who um who would be even wealthier people that would be against the idea of that. I think tr- we don't we try not to um I think it would just not be something that would last very long. Maybe at first it could be end up being like that for wealthier people. Maybe the technology is very expensive, but I with any technology, eventually it gets cheaper. Not everything, but like for example, it's um, computers were very expensive, 40 to 50 years ago, and now anyone can get a computer. Uh, so that's things end up getting cheaper with time. Um, Natalia, would you like to answer the second question?
Oh, yeah. This is hard to answer because I think, isn't that already the case? Because the the rich people are, I don't know, have more money already and live better. So when we have money, you can live better and live longer than people who didn't, the So I don't know if this is a big change of this case now, 2026. I have a expected of the life with my money today, but there another girl in the world who, I don't know, can express this in English. It's so hard to think in English. But when you when you think this, uh, in the life, when we have to worry about the money, change all your life and you expect it, and what we can do to get more money and live better, live longer, what place you can be, you can go, this kind of thing to change everything, the money. So this is so hard to think and to understand, and we live this now.
Yeah, you're right. There's some reflection on the way things are now. It may not change much, but I think that at first, if someone could just pop a pill and just live to like
Yeah.
160, like I think some people would be like, "Hey, why can't I have that?" And there'd be a lot of people upset, more so than the usual case. But yeah, we never know. We might not know for a long time. So, hey, Guido, would you like to answer the second question?
Yeah, I think that in this scenario, it would dramatically increase inequality because they would accumulate more and more power, more influence, more resource over time. Consequently, it's increasing inequality. Other people will become more poor and less opportunity to new generations because leadership position might not open for new generation because these people still there, and yeah, that could create a elite class, I think that our society would become a chaos. Yeah, I can't imagine this scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't end up being very bad if something like this were to happen. Hopefully, there's a peaceful way to make this work. Hugo, would you like to answer the second question?
Oh, um, from my perspective, I think this question is very difficult to answer. But I think uh, nowadays the wealthy rich people uh, have have make, oh my god, um, oh, I think this is a complex. This question is a complex because uh, who who has more money, a lot of money, um, can 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 do everything in around the world, and and this kind of in this kind of thing, for me, it would increase the exploration around the world, resources, for example, in poor countries, for example. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things to consider is overpopulation and more people live longer. Yeah, it's gonna make it where you have like tens of billions of people and not enough food. That's one of the things I think about. But yeah, it's hopefully I think that for this life expectancy to increase that much drastically, it's a very gradual. Like you can't make it you can't flip a switch or in your body and be like, it's 160 years now. The world does not have the resources to adapt that quickly. So the third question here is, um, in a world where people live for centuries, would the traditional timeline of education, career, and retirement become obsolete? I I see education changing in that perhaps instead of people, you know, having education up until like 18 to 20 years old, it's or in some countries 16, but uh it's probably going to go up to 30 years old. I can see that if it's because it gives more time for people to explore um hobbies and interests, give people more time uh to learn um many important factors of life. Sometimes education traditionally it's been very rushed, but the if humans could live so long, you don't have to rush the process of education as much, and so you can have it where people just take their time. They like, imagine they have this huge list of like different hobbies they can switch around for several years to try it out. Whatever they enjoy most, perhaps they can start a career with that instead of being like, "Oh, I gotta decide right now, or else it's gonna be too late." So I see education as it for career. It could be a problem where um, some people end up staying in their jobs for longer, and it's making it harder for newer people to come in. Um, the- if people don't retire naturally, I mean, they could. There's going to be some senior people in your jobs or companies that are like 100 years older than you, and they worked with whatever it is much longer, and there's going to be too huge of a power dynamic than there already is, and there may not be the concept of retirement um, in a traditional sense. Maybe people could be like taking a break from careers, or maybe do a career transition. But if humans could live so long, I think retirement may not work because I think the whole point of retirement is that I mean, people have different definitions, but it's like one of them is okay, I've earned this much money, I don't have to work anymore, so they stop working. Or the other one is like I'm too old now, and now I can't work. But like their body's not being able to function as much as it used to. So with if people live much longer, I mean, their bodies are much healthier. There, I don't think society would have them stay retired forever because they'll be. I think people would look down on it for just consuming a lot of resources, but not providing much effort to society. So, like giving back. So I think it could become obsolete. Alright. Edwina, would you like to answer the third question?
Yes, definitely. I think that the traditional timeline would probably collapse because if people live centuries, maybe choosing a single career at 22 years old would make no sense or little sense, because education would likely become cyclical. People would study, work, uh, reinvent themselves multiple times throughout the life. You would become engineer, medical, whatever you want, every time, you know. Maybe retirement at 65 years old would feel outdated because you live centuries. But I think that maybe the question is, what will be your health? If your health is better, even your age is growing, yeah, it's become obsolete. Yeah, because life will become more fluid, more flexible, you know. Yeah, it's really be very different. Yeah.
Yeah, and with that, I think people would end up being very bored with retirement or being in their or just bored with being in a career for so long. Like if you've been in a career for like 40 to 50 years, you would be like, I've done everything I could. Let me start over with a new career, make it interesting again, learning everything from scratch, going back to university. So I think with university, it's gonna have a mix of people, all ages. People are young, people are really old, and it's just and there's and it's just gonna be a very different feel when just people come in with different experiences. Someone could be on their third or fourth career change, or someone's just starting out. It's, it's
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool to see. Hugo, would you like to answer the third question?
Third question. Okay. Um, oh my God. Let me see the question number 3. Okay. Oh, for me, uh, I think the traditional timeline uh, is would be would become obsolete because uh, we are in the, oh my God, running rats term. We was born and we were born. Then I go to school, and then we go to the college, for example, or we get a degree. Then we go to the job market, for example. For me, the our life is that, but if we have more time to more lifespan in our life, um, we would have more time to do more things, um, to live more time with your children, your family, spend a lot of time with your friends, for example. Um, because the most time of our life we spend it working for a company, for example. I think the almost half. Oh my God. I think the almost middle of our life we spend working for a company, for a boss, for example. That's it. We would have a lot of time to spend, and this kind of things, education, career, and retired. For me, would be this necessary, for example. That's it.
Yep. I think that would. Yeah, I think there'd be like blocks of periods of time where people, take breaks for like a career. Maybe like take 5 years or so, or then they go back to transitioning to another career instead of being like full retirement, or they'd probably spend more time with family than if they couldn't do it before. And yeah, I think it could be as a sweet and interesting future for everyone, but we'll see if it ever happens. The next question here is: if humans could live indefinitely, would we lose the sense of urgency that drives us to create, innovate, and achieve goals? I would say yes. Definitely, people would go at a snail's pace. Like if there's, I don't think people would be uh, thinking about. Because I think what the I guess the advantage, or in a way pro of having a shorter lifespan, is that people have the more sense of urgency to do more and be more efficient. They don't like to waste time because people have limited time, but they want to accomplish so much. What- some things can some things can transform within a year or 10 years, but if people could live indefinitely, I mean, you may not have as much change in 100 year span. It's just no one really cares. 'Cause what's the point? I mean, whatever they come up with would be more of an artistic form than a scientific. Um, we'll see. Uh, Edwina, would you like to answer the fourth question?
Yeah, possibly, because I think that when you know that the time is finite, it pushes you to act, to create, to take a risk. When you know, oh, your time is finite, yeah, it can move you to take action. Another hand, if the time is infinite, maybe it can increase procrastination, because you can think, yeah, I will do it later. It can be permanent mindset. Yeah. In another hand, the good thing is that if you know that your time is infinite, maybe you might feel more freer to pursue long-term goals and ambitions without fear, because nowadays we have some feelings of fear of taking some goals, because we know that our time is finite. Maybe we don't have more time to enough to dedicate in this project or goals. Knowing that your time is infinite, maybe it can motivate you to feel more free to pursue your dreams, your goals. I think that if your time is infinite, it could reduce motivation in some situation, or can expand your ambition, Yeah, it would depend of the human psychologists. Yeah, we don't have specific answer for this question. That depend of human mind, human behavior. Yeah, it can happen everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think people would procrastinate, and people get older, time feels like it goes by faster, or like time flies by. So it's like, yeah, you say you'll get to it, and then it's like, oh, it's been a whole year or 5 years. It's like I haven't decided yet because you just every day, every week could feel the same, and there's no rush for anything. But perhaps with a lot of time and patience, I think the artistic field would change a lot. People would probably spend more time with art because it's you just art can sometimes take a long period of time to get your final piece, and I think there could be some very beautiful art that comes with people feel like they have infinite time. Um, Hugo, would you like to answer the question?
Oh, for me, totally. Uh, for me, totally, because um, if we have indefinitely, uh, oh my God, time of life to live. Um for me, we did lost. Um, we would lost our ambition, for example, ambition and uh, innovate, for example, too. And the main goals of your life, um, we I think we would lost too. And but I have oh my God, I forgot the sentence. But oh, I think I don't know to say if we will doing with infinite life, for example. Mm, but I think the anxious, for example, the anxious to achieve our goals quickly. Um, I think this kind of thing it would become more or less in our life. Um, or less anxious, for example, less depression, because nowadays the time um, is is running quickly, uh, and we are a lot of anxious. We are very anxious to achieve our goals, or to oh my God, mm, to clean your career, for example, to clean our education, and that's it.
I think the rush would there won't be a rush for things, but you may end up having people with more wisdom or over time because it has so much time to, make mistakes that that they any if there any newborn anyone who is growing up still, if the population somehow increases, they would be taught a lot of good life lessons because they have probably thousands of years of stuff to talk about. Um, so yeah, it might be slower, but I think people can still end up being content and happy and wiser. Um, the next question is, um, which is actually leads into the next question. If humans lived much longer, would we become more patient and wise, or more risk adverse and afraid of death? Um, I think people would be more patient and wise. Um, I think some people do get irritated because may not have the patience. But if you had infinite time, you may have less people like that because they have infinite time. Um, I think people would be kinder in many ways. Um, and I think they could be more open to risky situations because I don't think depending on if it's just life expectancy extension or they actually have it much harder for them to die in all cases. They may take risk where humans may not naturally would go explore. But I mean, even if they were being risky or not, it seems well even with us with our normal life expectancy, people take risk all the time. There's people that climb buildings and mountains um and skydive and a bunch of things that's very unnatural. People take these risks anyway. Um, so you never know. Edwina, would you like to answer the question?
Yeah, of course, longer life might increase wisdom because you can accumulate more experience over time. Okay, you can think more carefully before making decision. Yeah, you become more emotionally mature. But I believe that longevity doesn't automatically produce wisdom. I believe that time itself doesn't transform someone. How you use this time is what transform the people. For example, let's go back in an action time, in a biblical time, where people lived 600 years. Uh, if we read the Bible, we will see different kind of example. We can see Moses, Abraham, Noah lived long years and they have wisdom because they worked with God, for example. They applied God counsels, God's words in their life. But on the other hand, there was other people living long years, but people died because they lived in wicked. They did bad things, for example. It's teach us that living much time uh, does not guarantee that you will become wisdom. The way you use this time is what make difference in our life. Yeah. But of course, experiences is important to make better decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you're right. It's about how you spend that time that makes determined, wise or not. Hugo, would you like to answer the question?
For me, how Arduino would say, I totally agree with you say, with he said, because um, lived much longer, don't oh my god, don't granted granted more. I think we wouldn't become more patient. Otherwise, this is not guaranteed to future, for example, because the humans take a lot of take a lot of um, wrongs in our history, um, in during the history, our since our word is word, but if we would live, we would um, we would can be, or can live more time in the world. I think we would have afraid of the death, for example, because we have a long time to live, and when we are more younger, we have more afraid to death. That's it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, you might not know what people would do in that case. I think people could become more patient for sure. But wisdom may it could depends on what they do, if they learn and make you know if they make mistakes and learn from them. So we may never know for sure, but it's a very interesting topic. That concludes all the main questions. I'm going to ask each of you what you think about the whole topic today. Edwina, would you like to start?
Yeah, difficult topic. Make us to think about the question that we never think before. Very philosophical, and but at the same time is interesting because make us to stop and think about life. Yes, I appreciate this topic. Uh, Obviously, I will think to reflect about uh every questions here. Yeah, thanks. Mhm.
Thank you, Edwina. Hugo, what do you think about the topic today?
Oh, I guess this topic was very nice and very difficult to talking about. Um, is It's a complex topic, but it is good for us because when the topic is complex, for me, we grow better. We grow a lot, for example. Um, But that's it. For me, it was a good topic, complex topic. That's nice.
Thank you, Hugo, and thank you, Hidwina, for discussion. Have both of you have a good evening, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one, the next immersion. It's great having you both. Take care.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you, Jared.